Sean Farnham and Steve Blake in our studio this morning, along with Tom Thibodeau, and delighted to have you. And this is not the first time you guys have crossed paths. Can I bring everyone back to the NCAA tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at Farnham. Look at him. Oh, and there's Steve Blake.
Go, Steve.
Maryland. Is this the year you won the championship, Steve?
No, it's not.
No, they definitely did not win the championship this year. My guy Earl Watson had 17, 16, and 0 turnovers, and it's the largest margin of victory ever in the NCAA tournament by a lower-seeded team over a higher-seeded team.
Sean, did you have a black eye?
I did have a black eye.
Why?
Because I got elbowed in the face in the game before this.
Were you wearing braces? Were those braces?
No,
or was
that's
that
a mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. And the mouthpieces were so thick and so bad back then.
How many of those points did you have?
2.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie to you.
But I had the most important points, the W. How was your plane ride back to Baltimore? Was it all right?
It was not fun.
All right, there we go. Hey, but by the way, they went back to Minnesota the following year to go to the Final Four and then won the national championship the following year.
You're just trying to detract the attention from your haircut. Anyway, we're
that was brutal.
To Get Up, we're coming to you live as always from the Seaport District at Pier 17. We're brought to you by Chase. And here's what we have coming up in this hour, and it's a huge hour. We're getting up with Bryce Harper. It's official. He's going to Philly. In this hour, his agent, Scott Boras, will join us live on how it got done. And Phillies legend Mike Schmidt is live in just a few minutes. Plus, Jason Witten out of the booth, back on the field. Is that the piece that puts the Cowboys over the top? We'll have a Hall of Famer, Michael Irvin, live in this hour talking about it. And finally, we get the biggest answer to the biggest question in the draft yesterday on Kyler Murray's height. His coach, Lincoln Riley, his first live comments about the Kyler Murray story will be live here with us on Get Up in this hour. Stay with us. We are jam-packed, and it begins with an unbelievable performance from James Harden last night as the Heat were in Houston, and they were paying homage to Dwayne Wade in his last visit. That was Chris Paul and his son. But then the night belongs to this guy. Sean, how about James Harden? There's just no stopping this.
Well, it's hard to stop somebody when they isolate them, they get the matchups they want, and then especially when you've got this kind of range. You can close out a little slow there. Your hands are down 34 feet out. You're giving a clean look to one of the best scorers in the game, period.
Tom Thibodeau, should that be worth 4 points in the NBA?
It should be.
And this conversation, we were talking about it earlier. Meanwhile, Harden, as you can see there, doing it outside, doing it inside. The little step back, jump back, 41 points for him through 3. But the Rockets were down big, still in the third. The Heat lead is 9. Dwayne Wade, he's still got this. 1, 2, 3, 4 fakes, and he lays it up and good. The Heat had a 12-point lead after 3, trying to knock off Houston after knocking off Golden State the other night.
That's my LA Fitness move when I'm playing pickup nowadays. Stay low to the ground and don't get hurt.
Yeah, me too. Fourth quarter, Rockets down 10. Harden, yes, plus the foul. He'd make that. He was 18 of 18 from the line. He's over 50 there. His 6th 50-point game of the season, and he's not done. Under 5 minutes to go. Rockets down 2. Make it tied at 113. Harden with the right hand. Minutes later, Rockets up a deuce. Harden again. You just can't stop it. Rockets up by 4. Dwayne Wade says, we're not done here. Down 3. Little mid-range, old-school game. He would score 12 points in his final game in Houston. He'd get within 1, but with under a minute to go, where's the dagger going to come from? Got to be Harden, right? Wrong. This time it's Chris Paul working off a screen, and that one will ice it. Rockets win by 3. Harden finishes with 58 points and 10 assists. What a night for the Beard in his home arena.
I wanted to be aggressive and continue to attack the rim, take my shots when I had opportunities, and I don't worry about missing shots or making shots. I worry about taking the shots that I work on, and they're going to go in eventually. So whether I shoot 2 for 30 or 15, 16 for 30, I mean, those shots are going to get shot.
All right, so James Harden can do it any way you want it done. Yesterday, his 7th career game with at least 50 points and 10 assists. That's more than twice as many as any other player in NBA history. Laura.
Let's get to DeMarcus Cousins and the Warriors taking on the Magic. They're without Kevin Durant. He is resting. Third quarter, Warriors trail by 3, and Boogie bringing the ball up. Gets the lay-in to go right there. Warriors down by 1. Later, they're up by 2. Boogie trying to get the ball beyond the arc, but he says, I'm just going to go ahead and take this bad boy in.
What happens when you have a center that can stretch the floor and you know is capable of shooting that shot, it opens up lanes and seams to drive.
We're going to see Steph here do something that I don't think you're doing at LA Fitness, but anyway, the Warriors up 11 after 3.
By the way, I never did that at LA Fitness.
Fourth quarter, Magic down 8. Terrence Ross gives it to Aaron Gordon. Gordon back to Ross, and he hits the 3, makes it pay off. Magic down by 5. Now they're down 2. And Gordon drilling a 3 right here, Sean.
Yeah, he works out at Equinox, so that's more of an Equinox type move there.
Oh, let's see how many LA gems we can name. Magic lead 95-94. DJ Augustine driving, getting the lay-in to go. The Magic are up by 3 now. Steve Kerr trying to draw off a play, but just over a minute to go. But Curry gets the ball, misses a 3. He had a tough night shooting, and then Boogie misses the floater right there. So Ross is going to be able to get the rebound in just a moment. And Curry was 12 for 33 from field goal range. Under 30 seconds to play. Magic still up by 3, but they end up winning it. They missed the floater there. Gordon gets the tip in. Magic win it 103-96, and Gordon had 22 points, 15 rebounds. Entering Thursday, the Warriors had won 53 straight games with a double-digit lead entering the fourth quarter. They were 21-0 this season and had not lost such a game since opening night of last season against the Rockets, Greeny.
So we see these two Western Conference powerhouse teams in a row there, Golden State, and before that, Houston. So here's the deal. I'm going to tell you right now, Tom Thibodeau, we live in a world where Golden State is not going to win the West. I'm asking you, who is it that's going to beat them?
I'd say Oklahoma City, I think, has the best chance.
Really? Tell me why.
The way Paul George is playing, MVP level, gives them a catch-and-shoot game. A guy could break it down off the dribble. Of course, Russell, the way they have their team defense playing, and Steven Adams in the middle.
And so that's the key, you think. If you're designing, you were coaching in the Western Conference during this season. If you're designing a game plan to try and beat Golden State, the key is defense. You don't try and outscore them. The key is trying to find a way to defend them.
Well, you're going to have to defend them, but you're going to have to score also. They're going to make you play for 48 minutes. And let's give Orlando a lot of credit. Orlando's rolling right now. They've won 9 out of the last 12. They beat Toronto in Toronto. They turn around and they beat Golden State. So they're playing great basketball.
Yeah.
So, but I think when you look at the Warriors, I mean, the way they play, having Durant and Curry, Thompson, it's just too many weapons.
Yeah, Durant didn't play last night. Steve Blake, who beats Golden State this year in the West if someone does?
Well, I'll give you a sleeper team. I'll give you the Portland Trailblazers. A team that I've played for a lot of years.
Hey.
Probably one of the best point guards in the league, in Damian Lillard, an off guard with CJ McCollum. And then, they got a big now with Nurk, who's playing great passer. And they got some great guys coming off the bench. They got a Turp and Jake Layman. So.
What do you think? Not mentioned Houston, not mentioned
I'm going
Denver.
Houston. I've stayed with Houston from the get-go. We've talked about this before, but here's one of the things where I looked last night, and I believe even a little bit more in Houston, is the fact they were down 21. All right, you don't come back in a game where you're down 21 unless you lock up defensively. And yes, they've lost some key parts. You and I were talking about Trevor Ariza and Bob Moute, no longer there. But Clint Capella is back. He can protect the rim. Tucker's been outstanding at the defensive end of the floor, and this team overall fought in down the stretch of that game last night, fought back and won, and you need offense to beat the Warriors. There's no question about that, and if I'm betting on offense in the Western Conference, I'm betting on James Harden.
What do we think about the Nuggets? Where do they factor in?
Yeah, because if Jalen was sitting here, he would be pounding the desk for the Nuggets.
We're here for you, Jalen.
The Nuggets have been terrific all season, and I think the biggest improvement for them has been their defense. Jokic makes them completely different because he plays away from the basket. He inverts their offense. Their offense has always been excellent, but they've made a major jump defensively, and that's why they're in the position that they're in right now.
You don't buy them right now as a legitimate threat?
I have them slightly ahead. I have Oklahoma City slightly ahead of them, but I think they're also great, and I think Steve is making a great point about Portland because Portland has added, people are overlooking the addition of Rodney Hood and Cantor. They're terrific. They're starters coming off the bench.
So you would put the Rockets then behind them?
No, the Rockets are still good. I think their defense has slipped. If they play defense, and of course, you have Chris Paul's health. If he can stay healthy, they're right there as well.
But to be clear, is anybody...
The Warriors are head and shoulders above everything.
Okay, fair enough.
Somebody gets hurt.
That's what we were waiting for. All right, that's basketball. Let's get to the football.